So I came across this. It says, this is the max rent you should be paying based upon your salary. Now, just so you guys know for reference, the average American makes about $49,000, which means your rent should be about $1,041. But here's the thing. The average of a one-bedroom apartment in the United States right now is $1,700. That's damn near a 70% increase, okay? Now, one thing I am happy about is that the feds are suing certain rent companies for hiking up prices and gouging renters. That's a good thing. But ultimately, the rent is just too damn high. I know in California, we have a ballot measure that talks about rent control. And people are saying, you don't want to have rent control because builders will be too shy to build. Man, forget that. We need rent control because the rent is too damn high. And what I can clearly see is that a lot of major companies are taking advantage of people, hiking up the rent and trying to squeeze people. And that's just not cool. Everybody should be able to make a profit in the United States. But gouging your fellow countrymen ain't right. That's not cool. So I'm hoping that this bill in California passes and we can get some rental relief for people that need it in terms of capping what they can go up to after your lease is done. Because I think about my mom who just lost her husband of 46 years. If I and my brother wasn't there, my mom would be looking at this price and she can't afford that.
Any of these stores pop up in your neighborhood, your rent is about to double. Any store that offers a modern take on a basic service, like imagine a dry cleaning place, but it's named after a verb that vaguely describes it, like cleansed. A store that sells a random assortment of things that come together to form a single vibe, like think crystals right next to incense holders and $40 tote bags. A barbershop that looks like it was built inside an abandoned factory, and all the employees wear like leather aprons and mustaches as their uniforms. Also, any store that exclusively sells dog leashes in pastel colors. I'm sorry, but if a place where people pay to like drink wine and paint with their friends pops up in your neighborhood, like your rent is about to triple. If there's a designated area for food trucks and the trucks only show up on Sundays, your rent is definitely going up. Especially if it's right next to a court where people pay to play whatever like tennis spin-off sport that's popular at the moment. Also, any food market that has like a mural painted on it that's obviously meant to attract people to take Instagram pictures in front of it. This one isn't a store, but I had to include it. If you see one of these little free libraries, call your landlord because your rent is going all the way up.
How are we supposed to buy a house when my rent is going up another $195 a month? It has gone up $720 in 4 years for the same place that I live in. $8,640 a year more for the same place I lived in 4 years ago. I'm sorry, property taxes are not going up that much that landlords are charging that much more. We had to stop blaming the economy, the government, the president. It is greedy people taking more profits in. When people tell you, just move somewhere else, why would I move to another state that's cheaper? Why should I have to uproot my family, lose my career, just to afford to live somewhere? You're implying people who live in where I live now don't deserve a fair shot at cost of living. And places with cheaper rent pay lower salaries. That's how this whole thing works for the most part. And my girlfriend's a teacher. Like, if she moves to a state with a cheaper cost of living, she might not even have a pension or her benefits anymore. Instead of telling the middle class to keep, looking somewhere cheaper, why don't you all align together and get people out of control that are doing this to us? You are always closer to being homeless than you are to being rich. Everyone just assumes one day they're going to get rich. And that's why they don't stand up for people just like them in the struggle right now. If not for the raise I got 4 years ago, I would be totally screwed. I don't even want a handout or help. I just want things to not be so crazy expensive every year. Go buy pizza from where I work. Go buy my merchandise. I don't know. Not a handout, just advertising.
If you want cheap rent without getting a roommate, there's only two options available. So for your first option, if you want a cheap apartment, is you have to move to far, far away land. You have to move to a small ass town where everybody goes to Walmart for fun. There's nothing to do and you'll be bored as hell, but your rent will be $35 a month. Your second option, if you want cheap rent, is your roommate is probably going to be rats and roaches. Your car's going to get broken into. You're probably going to get shot. But at least your city's a lot of fun and there's a lot of things to do in your city. And this is why I think renting is such a very unfair concept. I have a friend who's paying $2,500 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in Miami, Florida. Then I have another friend who's paying $800 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in a small town in South Carolina. Both apartments are pretty much the same size. The only difference is location. I think it should be illegal for rent to be over $2,000 a month. You could be paying $2,000 a month for your apartment and your next door neighbor, same model, same everything, could be paying $1,800 for the same model apartment as you. Or they could be paying more than you. When you renew your lease, it could go up by $9 or $900. And then you're paying $2,000 a month, but you will never own your apartment. You will never own it. I feel like rent should be like a fixed amount across the board. A 1-bedroom apartment anywhere in the United States should be like $800. A 2-bedroom apartment should be like $900. Life is unfair, but renting is 10 times unfairer.
Public service announcement. Can all of y'all non-Texan people not come to Texas, please? I've been looking for an apartment since October. Okay? You motherfuckers keep moving down here because the prices are cheap. Oh, everything's affordable. Now you're making it not affordable for the rest of us. I'm in the South. I'm in Houston, okay? Why? I need someone to answer me quickly this. Why is a 1 fucking bedroom apartment costing $1,600 fucking dollars? No, please, quickly now. 2 weeks ago, I'm looking online to look for an apartment. Oh, we see this nice place, this nice one, right? It's within our price range. We're like, okay, this is like 20 minutes from his job. It is in a nice, pretty nice area. I'm like, wow, this is a fucking steal. Okay, cool. Let's put in a $75 application fee. And let me take my happy ass up there. I live an hour away from this place. Let me take my happy ass up there just so I can see the layout, just to confirm that we're going to precisely move here, right? It is a decent size 1 bedroom with a den and a garage. The quote that they have online that we applied for says $1,350. I'm thinking, damn, this is a motherfucking steal. So I'm driving my happy ass up here. It took me an hour and a half to get up here because there's traffic. Some stupid shit went on. But okay, look, we about to move into this motherfucker in like 2 fucking weeks. It's cool, right? Wrong. I walk in that bitch. Of course, this new girl, you can clearly see she's new. I'm nice. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be patient with you. Hey, can you find our application so we can look at this apartment? She don't know what to look at. She don't know. She's like, oh, we don't see your application here. I'm like, ma'am, stop playing with me because we put it in yesterday. I remember because it was me that did the application. So she gets somebody. They find the application. She's like, okay, yeah, let's go look at this. And she start writing all the shit down on the brochure, right? She passes me the brochure. Why in the monthly rent slot it says $1,625? So I'm looking over at her. I'm like, ma'am, so what's going on with this $300 discrepancy? She's looking at me like, oh yeah, there's just like a third party who hiked up the prices and stuff like that last week. Ma'am, I saw these apartments on your website 2 weeks ago with the same prices. What do you mean 2 weeks ago? She's like, yeah, they hiked up, it's a third party and they're the ones that's responsible for the pricing. So you mean to tell me that I spent $75 on an application fee on a technical issue because y'all motherfuckers could not update y'all website? So wait, hold on, let me get this straight. Y'all lied to me and possibly 100 others for $75?